Before we get started with today's video, I just want to give a shout out to Susan Considine, who made a small donation to this channel via the super thanks button, which is below every video that I upload. It's just a way of supporting this channel, and it really helps with the costs towards seeds, fertilizers, compost and containers. So absolutely any amount that's contributed towards this channel goes back into this channel, so I can carry on making these videos and passing on as much information as I possibly can to help people grow vegetables to the best of their ability. Thank you very much, Susan, for that donation and also supporting this channel. So now let's get on with today's video. Well, it looks like this weekend we're going to be in that same position we were only a few weeks ago. Extreme heat. Not quite as bad as it were last time, but still bad enough. At the moment we've got temperatures of mid-80s, and this area is Derbyshire, UK. But at the weekend the temperatures are now set to go up to 93 degrees, which for the UK is considered extreme heat. So once again we've got that situation with watering. So we've got to make sure that all these plants are getting adequate water, because they'll soon dry out and start to wilt, especially anything that you've got in containers. They'll be the first to completely dry out. And of course it's not just a case of watering your plants, it's when to water them, how to water them. But if you've been following this channel for a while, you'll know certain things, like with tomato plants, we always remove all those lower branches because we don't need them for anything. They're not going to give us fruit later in season. So all the bases of your tomato plants should be now clear, which is going to make it a lot easier to water these plants properly without splashing the whole thing, which could give rise to problems with mould. While at the same time, in extreme heat, burning the leaves of your plants, which you definitely don't want. So if you are using an hose pipe, you may have heard me mention things like this before, but for people that's just joined the channel, it's always worth a reminder. So things like your hose pipes, if you've got these in your garden connected up constantly, like most people have that grow plants, in extreme weather this water inside this hose pipe is going to become very hot. So the first thing that you need to be aware of is don't just pick up your hose pipe and start watering all your plants, because this water can be hot enough to burn you. So it's going to cause a lot of damage to your plants if you start spraying them with red hot water. So you need to let these just run and run and run until they go cold. And that is still really hot. This is only mid-morning, so we haven't even reached the hottest part of the day yet, and already this water is way too hot to water plants with. Another thing about these hose pipes is they all have these little clips on top, so you can press it full, put the clip down, and it'll just keep going. That's going to make it a lot easier for you to water around the base of your plants without causing any aggravation to your back or your knees. And all you have to do is hang the hose pipe upside down. And then you can quite easily bottom water all your plants while still being stood up straight at the same time. It's also going to make it a quicker, easier job for you, because in this weather you want to be in that greenhouse for as short a time as possible. And even when it comes to things like your carrots, again you can quite easily just go across the bottoms and you're not squashing the tops of your plants flat to the ground. And same thing with any containers. If you've got containers on floor, you can just feed it into the bottom and give it a really good watering without touching any of the leaves on that plant at all. And a good deep watering is going to last it for the entire day. And you can see with these plants, they're starting to sag a little bit because they're getting too hot. And if you look on top, the leaves are starting to curl up. They're trying to stop photosynthesis by rolling the leaves up to protect themselves from the heat of the sun. And that is not a good thing, because sometimes those leaves won't unravel once they've rolled up. So if you've got things in containers like this, take them out of the greenhouse and put them outside to protect them. Especially when it's things like your pepper plants that have took you so long to grow, because they just can't be replaced at this time of year. And I've got this area just outside greenhouse, and it gets a little bit of sun, but it's dappled sunlight, so it's not quite as hot. More importantly, it's not in that extreme heat in a greenhouse, because 93 outside is more likely to be 110 in a greenhouse, and that is no good for any plant. Especially since we use these pots because we get them quite cheap. Unfortunately, they're black, and black gets hot really quick, and there's not much space in here for roots, so you're going to constantly keep overheating your plant. So take them out, put them in a shady area, and then again give them a really good watering, and you'll soon see that plant pick back up and those leaves start to point outwards again, if you catch it in time. And all your fruit bushes as well that are in containers, make sure they've got plenty of water. And it is one of the advantages of doing a container garden, because you've always got the option of moving your plants in the event of extreme weather. So bad winds, you can move them to shelter. Extreme temperatures, you can move them into a shadier area. But if you've got plants that you can't actually move, you've got no option but to make sure that they're adequately watered for the entire time. So again, you could pop your clip on your hose pipe. Just leave that there for 5 minutes or so. Make sure everything has got a really good deep watering. And of course, wherever you can, use bottom watering trays, so you can put a bunch of plants in there all at once and just put some water in it. And you can just leave them sat there for a couple of hours or so. So although we may have been over watering in the past, it doesn't hurt when these temperatures start approaching again, just to get that little reminder. Because as I said, with those pepper plants that I've just moved outside, if they suffer from heat exhaustion and die, that's it for this year. There is no time left to grow any more peppers. So you've lost all those. Everything in your containers is going to dry out quicker than everything else. So make them your priority. Don't water mid-afternoon, it'll be far too hot. Try watering the night before or early morning. When watering around the base of those plants, as you saw me do, just dangle the hose pipe down and go around the base of those plants, because you've kept them nice and clean by breaking away all those bottom branches. And that is going to save your back, your knees, and it's going to make it quicker, so you're in a greenhouse like this for a shorter period of time, which is also really important that you stay hydrated yourself. Or you could use things like this. That's a watering globe, and you can get them quite cheap. I'll try and leave a link in the description if you want any. And these are perfect because you just fill them with water and then stick them into your containers or your flower baskets, and they'll trickle feed your plants water as they need it. Anyway, it's time for me to get out of the greenhouse. It's getting way too hot in here. But hopefully you'll see a few hints and tips. that'll prove useful and help keep your plants nice and healthy until this heat wave's passed. Anyway, hope you found this video useful. Enjoy your weekend, stay safe, stay hydrated, and we'll see you on the next update. You all take care. Thank you.